Ammarheia and the Empires of Apollyon. Book 2, Dragon Wars 1, a collection of our shared past. Chapter 1. Your burden to bear. Sonnet of God. Dearest granddaughter, your sand will run out. My tropos will snip the thread of your breath. Honor and glory, new stories spun out. Clotho is spinning her wheel to the death. Those cubs like us will measure and judge. Find these three fates, evoke the petition, appeal to their senses. Sing of your grudge, seditious missions weave to fruition. Love and desire be our pusher of plans. Henceforth I'll inspire these war-fated boys, arousing allies all over these lands. Flourish or falter, they'll follow your voice. They'll call out your name in times of despair. It won't be pretty, a bloody affair. This path is gruesome, be fully aware. All their misery, your burden to bear. Call to the Dryads, sonnet of God. Hark, all ye enchanted oaks not expressed, come forth with bodies supple and divine. Come forth into flesh, I have your quest. Pleasure and justice, both forms shall entwine. A savage man, an untamed rocky peak. He marches northward, into your abode. Epic scepter and a godly physique. Ecstasy, a shared gift briefly bestowed. Jolt with this line and he'll make you come. Hark, ladies, hear this. Indulge me then him. Worship this wildling and love every son. Although they are gruff and fated so grim, drink wine, dance and shine, for blood starts to flow. Bring forth light from one short sparkling dew. There's only one like him alive, you know. Sisters in spirit, indulge on Gutoh. Lions from the north, an account of Gutoh. As a boy, Gutoh the Great wandered north. At the spine, Mount Orgal, I met a gifted oak lady. At night, I delivered her soul to another plane. She gave me 6 sons and pointed me northward. So I carried my torch and bested its icy barriers. East and north, I killed beasts, men and giants. I drank the blood of monsters yet to be named. The dragon's tail is the most mysterious of all. There, Gutoh entered many ornately skinned Dryads. Magic seeps through lips from inside their grottos. Dripping for Gutoh to blossom and bring floods. Emptied my quiver and bore 100 sons. Wandilaz, the testament of savage unbound virility. I trained them up as great warriors from birth. Gutoh had enough cold and returned to the spine, sending forth 44 sons, all hungry for battle. Our armies marched south to avenge the matriarch. My Dryads recalled a fated journey she has spun. Be it our honor to face such an infamous adversary. The king of disgrace shall hear from us soon. Call to the Sea Nymphs, sonnet of God. Hark, all you Hyades and Pleiades. Through your healing waters my words will flow. Ammarheia's son journeys to the sea. His deeds they travel, his legend will grow. Lying in wait, a pure mortal soulmate. The truest man, pair perfect to your mum. Hark, ladies, hear my call. Accommodate, ear to earth, a gallant beat from his drum. Fated matrimony with Pleione. Bear fruit and feed tyrants to perdition. Gather, join me, hear the testimony. Their dance we need for holy sedition. Drums beat till the line's apocalypse. They'll meet up here on a total eclipse. Complete this errand discreetly, dear nymphs. Defeat is uncaring, loose lips sink ships. The voice from the sea, an account of Walah. Orphan in my youth, as mother drove me out, a voice called to me from afar. I followed her. The dangers of the wild made me ever stronger. My heart led through time and trials, yearning. On the west of the dragon I found great cities, coronated on the trail. She was my guiding light. Off Greathorn is where I found her physical form, the most magnificent creature God ever made, my eternal Pleione. Emerging from misty waters, she revealed herself to me. I was ready, unafraid. I filled her soft belly with the seas of champions, but a great titan followed her, jealous and wrath, seething as her body grew full of life and beauty. He wished to cage Pleione and bloody her womb, challenging me. Let us meet in the pit of skulls. For my queen I pierce a hole through the sun. In the pit, I split his belly wide and took his horn. Then Gulah and Arthur split poor Pleione in kind, her only sons. These two are good and mighty, and the dragon did tremble at their inevitability. Attack of the Wandilaz, Tabellio 4, scribe of Apollyon. The Wandilaz, sons of Gutoh, mighty and free, not unlike wild beasts which roam and devour. These lions came from the north, conquering. They took cities in the outer kingdom. To the east, they moved quickly. Only rumors traveled fast. South they went, to maraud and divide the spoils, setting fire to Apollo's tranquil crystal sea palace, tearing up dukes and viceroys, showcasing terrors. Our supreme lord saw this and took to his tower, making sound plans to defend our grand home. Brave generals and soldiers he sent to the field to meet the beasts for a timeless bloody ritual. 6 moons they battled. Terrible was the violence. The lions were vicious in action and countenance, but the heroes of Apollyon stood taller than ever, and our immortal king, the wise and decisive, together capturing the remaining sons of Gutoh. Apollo, our savior, devoured most Wandilaz whole. It was a bloodbath for all to see and remember. He freed the rest and dispatched spies after them. Who are these lions? The narrative of Apollo. We have enjoyed eons of peace and prosperity until we were attacked in the dead of the night. Lions from the wilderness, with rage and passion, they rampaged and set fire to our gilded abode. Who are these lions defying my kingdom? Who are these lions so eager to perish? Who are these lions that narrowly missed me, aiming to end the greatest reign of all time? I'm Apollo, most powerful and cunning. I will burn down the trees where you fester. I will tear up your lands and drain all the waters until my eyes find you in your rotten spawn. I will tear off their hides and feast on their bodies. I will drink their blood and increase my spirit. I'll make you a brick in the palace of my soul. My reign is unstoppable, my domain everlasting. Who are these lions who think they can stop me? Wandilaz, you bastards. There is nowhere to hide. Death awaits you and any being who crosses me. I'm Apollo, son of God and lord of earth. Chapter 2. Brothers versus each other. Tabellio 4, scribe of Apollyon. With wonder, Apollo tailed the cats as they ran. Who are these lions? From where do they hail? Spies followed east to the realm's outer kingdom. There, the remnant Wandilaz rested and healed. After a short time, they refitted and set out west. Crossing the dragon, they raided and conquered. Our wise king in his tower watched with curiosity. These lions are ferocious and love to make war, but a reasonable western apostate Wallace, irredeemable his name, but eager to trade is he. We'll sit back and meddle, dividing to conquer. We watch them fight fire as our flames did start. At his gates, the Wandilaz demanded surrender. Walla pleaded for peace with these seething lions. House cats they were not, they come not for play, and war manifested. As some lions won't be tamed, rebels be valiant but blind. Their allies too veiled, corrupted naturally when they are still young. Apollyon makes eunuchs out of lions. 'Tis humane, castrating their ideas till they rot like old sausages. Turn back ye Wandilaz, a letter from Walah to Gutoh. Turn back ye lions, you monsters, you beasts. You came from the east and trampled good folk, pillaged our harvest to strengthen your forces, marched on my cities after licking your wounds. For what? Have you not spilled enough blood? For what? The kitten's egos need some petting. For what? Have you not lost enough battles? For what? Because Apollo drank your brothers. Do you aim to mock me, feasting on my goodwill, challenging me openly? Where are your manners? My brood is disciplined, skillful, and righteous. Sick are you to believe this campaign will end well. Turn back, you Wandilaz. I beseech it of your king. I prefer he die in a brother's duel than civil war. I beg him not to start when our bloodlines will lose. My kingdom is superior. Futile is your endeavor. Adhere to me, Gutoh, my twin ally and friend. Call off all your jackals. Call off this dishonor. I demand this as an equal. Bring them to heel. Make it so a dog shall chew on their bones. The price of freedom. A letter from Gutoh to Walah. Your grace and nobility precede you, good king, and the people all sing of your kind and just hand. But are you aware the price of freedom, brother? No, you're far too fancy, comfortable and grand. I hear news of great arts and carnivals in the west, and I hear of its royals growing fat on their hides. I hear of castles built for beauty and not defense, and I hear of soldiers starving, getting the frogs. In the hills we saw armies bravely killing farmers, but then comes war and they've no blood to shed. Down south we missed you when testing Apollyon. We saw your boys stayed home safe in their beds. My sons are greater than you think, dear brother. Underestimating these lions would be a mistake. They saw King yawn at the evil ruling his mother. Watch bloated carts rolling back on its roads. With how many bushels of wheat did he buy you? Did he give you the gold he stole down in Eden, promising you the world of men and eternal life? But surely it cost more than the price of freedom. The War of the Brothers, Tewtoh and Sonnet. Scores of dead lions, mothers still grieving. A grisly war of brothers still rages. Apollo raked their heads by deceiving, making light work of darker ages. Gutoh was surprised as Walah County succumbed to his zealous, three-pronged assault. Gulah took down Spine Town's uncle founded. Walah was sacking his ports in their vaults. When Arthur cut off eastern supply strings, Gutoh withdrew and planned an offensive. Wandilaz joined forces, sailed round the wings, blissed on Walah, his armies extended, burned down the capital and his palace. Off with king's daughters they ran in malice, burned down the capital and his palace. Off with king's daughters they ran in malice. Walah's hand, Rekordhal, scribe of Tewtoh. The War of the Brothers was long and terrible. Wandilaz first advanced deep into western lands. Walah and his sons deftly turned the tides of battle, until his home was sacked and girls kidnapped. The audacious lions then took them all to Gutoh, though the king of north and east wasn't pleased. Taking girls for barter or prizes is not honorable, but Gutoh played this hand dealt him by the fates. He gathered up his armies and went westward. With precious collateral they used Walah's robes, marched on the citadel and issued a challenge. Depressed Gutoh maintained an assertive facade. Dear brother, you've crushed many capable foes. You fell a titan, and have overtaken my best men. But I drank fiends who end Walah while laughing. Berserk beasts whose last words were, please sir, a duel for the daughters and rule of the dragon, before the throne. Gutoh drew a line in the sand, but Walah wouldn't entertain his brother's parley. Dual kingdoms as witness, cut off his own hand. The Hand of Walah, Tewtoh and Sonnet. A kingly heart, benevolent and true. His righteous hand, always steady and firm. He offed it from his people's point of view, ending a war while the digits still squirm. To the Hand of Walah all are in debt, causing armies to recant and withdraw. He trusted the spirit. This was no bet. Peace attributed to his mighty paw. Walah's hand will hold our tribes together, for as long as we remember that act. Brothers will only fight their oppressor, sharing a meal and the brunt of attack. Walah's hand guides us to a higher quest. Emperors and gods be cursed till we rest. Walah's hand guides us to a higher quest. Emperors and gods be cursed till we rest. Walah's hand, Tabellio 4, scribe of Apollyon. Wandilaz struck deep into the top of the dragon. Gutoh spawned, so eager and each worth a legion. But under Walah the western tribes fought smart, till he ended it selflessly, self-mutilating as shell. Word spread quickly and left people mesmerized. The Wandilaz chieftain was moved by his actions, ceasing hostilities at that moment. Right there, the people and warriors all reveled and rejoiced. Walah knew his enemy, saw they'd never dither. A dueling wind would crown another, more brutal, and distant progeny may still fight while they rot. One hand for every heart is nothing to the wise. But Gutoh the warlord was transformed forever. Awestruck with his rival, he laid down his arms, returning all the princesses safe and unharmed. The foes were quick to come to terms and sign. The Wandilaz were sent home to their families. Gutoh divided his gold and honored their armies, then enjoyed an extended stay in Walah's home. Bitter adversaries became allies and confidants. Seer saw Bear Mountain, an account of Gutoh. I dispensed my castle's livestock lands and gold. I joined Walah's court and helped him rebuild. The lions in the north and east still call me king. I'm a happy man, though I'm growing older. My brother is my best friend. We talk of legacy. I'm tired, but he is sure I've yet to achieve it all. He suggested an oracle in the eye of the dragon. I obliged, then prepared and went to this place. Twin sages, mystery and magic were their names. They brought me the old Lady Gaia, and we spoke. She told of me things that were, are, and will be, and gave me a quest to best of beasts far up north, with icy waters to cross. I asked Walah for a boat. He was happy to bless me with his sturdiest ship. I called for my lions, who came south in droves. We prepared Walah's city a grand Wandilaz feast. I said, fare thee well, and departed, following Gaia. Thought I'd never survive those deathly waters, but then saw the frozen beast coming from the sea. Seer did see it first, but I named Bear Mountain. Gutoh in the Vulcaness, Rekordhal, scribe of Tewtoh. The isle that called to Gutoh was jagged and icy. A storm crashed his brother's ship into the rocks, and for 2 moons he climbed its deathly face. At the peak, an ancient cave door cut for a giant. Gutoh took this path miles deep into the earth, until reaching the throne room with a grand lava fall. There he saw her. The Vulcaness was bathing in it. She was keen in a rose beard, his height and a half, molten metal in her veins, hot steam as her ore. Gutoh felt deeply in love and incensed with lust, tried to seduce but was repelled and attacked. Hot and intense, the duel was 3 days long, both powerful and skilled warriors. They danced. On the 3rd day, rife with exhaustion, Gutoh fell. The Vulcaness carried him deeper, to a holy place, first purifying, then covering his body with ash. With precious metals and gems she adorned him, poured elixir in him to wake and set his eyes ablaze. The Vulcaness then laid Gutoh out on an old altar, and rode him hard until his euphoric clasped victory. Forge of the champion, Teutonian Sonic. With a divine but tumultuous charm, this fiery goddess was misunderstood. Till Gutoh was inflamed, felt no alarm. She tested the king, then burned up his wood, finding him worthy to best in action. From her flaming mouth have we this account. Through a sizzling trial and red-hot passion, seated a champion inside that mouth. She grew and she ate and cursed Gutoh's name, infernal belly and bosom engorged. For claiming her metal he'd surely take blame. In that volcano our hero was forged. A kiln for the victor, prickly and mean. We love the Vulcaness, our fiendish queen. A kiln for the victor, prickly and mean. We love the Vulcaness, our fiendish queen. Purest beloved Walah, Rekordhal, scribe of Tewtoh. Purest beloved Walah, you will be missed dearly. You labor to make this western land righteous, protecting your people, increasing their wealth. You killed tyrants of Titan beasts and invaders, proved yourself as the paragon of the virtuous. Your heart raised great nations and ended wars. Your legacy is now losing its great father and king. The surgeons have deemed all remedies fruitless. The streets of your kingdom cry out with sadness. Their fair and fearless king will be leaving us soon. We pray you go peacefully, like you led this nation, and that your sons bless us with talents like yours. That side, Arthur and Gulah came to be with him, so he divided land and directed them accordingly. He told them his wishes and recanted their duties, and of the future, told things Gutoh saw in oracle, then said, "Be good kings, think of the people, of the women abused, and the children hungry. Remember, humble peace is the obvious choice. You've grown up so wonderfully. I'm very proud." Second War of the Brothers, Tewtoh and Sonic. Discord and feuds plagued Arthur and Gulah. Trivial issues like boundaries and trade, they bored with power, acting like grandpa. Heedless of wisdom, their disputes cascade. Neighbor on neighbor, brother on brother. At night, widows and babies were squalling. All of Walah's sons slaying each other. Second War of the Lions, Apollyon. Treaties father bequeathed so promptly breached. War unions dissolved and tribes did secede. What started with squabbles for coins and wheat never ended but appended their seed. Walah's son Spindor, his hand her box. Apollo watched while he licked on his chops. Walah's son Spindor, his hand her box. Apollo watched while he licked on his chops. The Infancy of Tewtoh, Rekordhal, scribe of Tewtoh. The Vulcaness was ablaze with passion and fury, birthed a big hairy bastard who will challenge gods. Your eyes have my flames, your bones are my ally. You are Tewtoh, 20 Gutohs, the Dragon King, with blood that is icy but a heart that's on fire, and my steely stove, for mighty even as a baby. You be their hammer, war comes nonetheless. Formed you well, your grand Ammarheia, and I have. To her lion cup she was stern, fed himself did he. She left over milk boiling. He drank from the pot, killed his own dinner before most babes can walk. Ran out the door of silos. They thought him a giant, highly adept with secrets of the forge as a youth, discovering works even gods keep from each other. He grew taller than any man, strong and curious. For war, the Vulcaness instructed him the old arts, strategies not employed since the hero's age. The pair sparred fiercely for weeks with no end. He was the best warrior alive before sun hit his eyes. Earth gave him second birth when it was his time. Only violence for us, Tewtoh and Sonic. If you have righteous words, use your voice. Otherwise, our chance to grow old be slim. There's only violence for us, void of choice. Raking bangs, when blood floods you sink or swim. Made for war, made for pain, here to deal them. The choice was nil before he braved the caves. Go to war and sacrifice our children, or shy away and damn them all as slaves. Our mission is paramount. Renounce wealth, keep the focus, ever-growing shedding rust. Reveal plans to the spirit, move in stealth. Steel yourselves. There's only violence for us. The dark maestro orchestrates this violence. Play or don't, we'll never sit in silence. The dark maestro orchestrates this violence. Play or don't, we'll never sit in silence. Tewtoh in the Underworld, Rekordhal, scribe of Tewtoh. Tewtoh was a man but still young, ready for more, and a war more gifted than any general above. Knowing he was ready, the Vulcaness honored him, loving on him, pouring out words from her heart. Ancient rituals with incense and alchemy did she. Then swam deep into bare mountains magma, emerging with a sword of great infernal power. Tewtoh was awestruck. With love he named it V. Together mother and son set out deep into earth. Marched, leapt, and climbed, journeying months. Faced many pit monsters and had them for lunch. Traversing these caverns until reaching the front. Tewtoh, my son, this undertaking was fated you. Never shrink under the impossible. This I demand. Conceived to face evils outside your understanding, chosen to confront things no other mortals will. The legacy of man is pathetic, but hope remains, like your father Gutoh, both powerful and good. Far superior to them all are you. Don't be wasteful. The foundation laid solid, your mission is Apollo. Chapter 3. Apollo's Great Hunt, the narrative of Apollo. They say the lord of the wild lions went missing. The apostate king in the west is dead from a cold. Look at their sons, flailing about on the dragon. The cats are in disarray. Playtime for a godly king. Come as the time. Witness Apollo's great hunt. Load the provisions in all men who are daring. Time to remind all these creatures of this earth. Write me more books than again fear my name. Apollo steps out with style and gusto. Beware, and killing lions makes me feel youthful again. I'll first break the strong one occupying my wings. I'll outmove the deaf one beyond the skull. Free will I then be to exterminate all the others. The wild ones to the north and east are doomed. Snaking the dragon, a royal parade of bloodshed. I'll return with great vigor and trainloads of hives. Rise up now, Apollyon. Let us start the procession. Bang drums and blow trumps. For me sing the hymn. It's a journey, a quest, and a grand celebration. My name is Apollo. God is my pseudonym. Author Prize and Puppet, Tabellio 4, Scribe of Apollyon. Bitter battles in the west escalated to an avid war. Lessorn was a congested front, ready for culling. Apollo loaded expedition forces and 600 ships, sent his armies northwest, then his fleet embarked, setting sail dexter around the dragon's coastline, parked the imperial fleet at sea, above the horns, then laid siege to the wing, turning it into rubble, grinding lions to dust until they begged for mercy. But Apollo afforded no leniency to these traitors. He deployed many legions for a ground invasion, dropped them north to flank Arthur's bastions, leaving Gulah to his blind aggression southward. Order and defense of the great wing fell easily. Then Arthur boarded the flagship, his tail tucked. So fearsome was Apollo, forced the king's hand. That hand capitulated easily, becoming our vassal. They say his was once a strong and proud nation. Now it be a subject of Apollo's bejeweled crown. Arthur has fallen, and his pitiful kingdom erased. Behold, the empires of Apollyon are increased. Gulah the second feather, Tabellio 4, Scribe of Apollyon. Apollo halved the fleet and sends one to the neck, tasked with bombarding the horns and the head. He continues dexter with the bulk of his soldiers. They flank from the north, down into the skull, but the lions of Arthur betray him in their oath, sending stumbling rebels southward to aid Gulah. At his encampment, betrayal reaches Apollo's ears, rage boiling, wrathful steam reaching the heavens. He reaches up there and takes a dreadful weapon. His fiery, forceful wind amputates the great wing. A blockade is set on the lands of Arthur, now an isle, and his children then starve for many winters. On Gulah, Apollo's stern focus now squarely rests. Our god emperor squeezed on him from all sides. His fall casts Wallah's legacy into Apollo's trophy. And lo, the empires of Apollyon are increased. But Wandilaz are notoriously pesky and elusive, and Apollyon lost many men to make it thus far. So our wise king did pillage this fallen civilization, and conscripted the lions into his own royal ranks. Tewtoh the Abominable, Tabellio 4, Scribe of Apollyon. The great hunt was first a resounding success. Our great king Apollo was glorious and valiant. Called strong, first Arthur was broken like a twig. Next Gulah and his tribes cracked just as easy. Wise Apollo refitted and then headed due east. Even wildland credence must come under his heel. Endless and strange, Gutoh's sons were scattered, till a wrath menace emerged and united them all. Tewtoh they called him, abominable and lawless, met us at Bear City. The first strike of blasphemy, first just Wandilaz, but then many lions followed, uniting nearly every downable lion on the dragon. Even Wallah's sons had no solutions for this stranger. This demonic chieftain proved himself in battle, inspiring chaos, ending the liberation campaign. For the dragon, this fiend ruined divine harmony. At this mass insubordination, Apollo felt anguish. He promised to personally send Tewtoh to hell. But Apollo, the Lord over earth, is not finished. No mortal can end his reign of lasting goodness. Tewtoh bests Apollo, Rekordhal, Scribe of Tewtoh. Great is Tewtoh, son of the Vulcaness and Gutoh, conceived in the fires of battle and fated for war. His dark genesis, a lasting miracle for the dragon. With a second birth we received him into our light, emerged from hell healthy to fight and lead men. His giant body lumbered out of a cave near there, brandishing a blade that would beat back the gods. Apollo was not ready for what awaited him there. Inside Bear City, Tewtoh met the royal onslaught. His legendary fervor shot the tyrant invaders. The bastard sword flew about, never ceasing. 'Twas an orbiting aura of blurry spiraling glints, with the preeminent warrior wielding its wonders, severed men's limbs solely from its reporting waves. He beat them back, then gave chase due south, regicide within his grasp. But Apollo ran quickly, hurrying so hard, left broken wagons on the road, and king's men and horses died from exhaustion, exposed and depleted. Staggering home in defeat, the coward Apollo showed his mettle to ourselves. Tewtoh took him down, Teutonian Sonic. Apollo wrecked Arthur, left him prostrate, then took Gulah and chained Walah's country, thought himself deaf and his next move checkmate, but then trampled his pawns to turn and flee. The haughty can't foresee their own demise. Tewtoh took him down. What a joyful day. Bested Apollo, poked his serpent eyes, made us proud and kept the empire at bay, mistook our home for a helpless ripe town. His visit our most fun frolicking years. Watch him run away. Tewtoh took him down, thrashing round crying big great godly tears. Laugh at this spoiled child. Look how fast he runs. Tewtoh took him down, tap kegs and bang drums. Laugh at this spoiled child. Look how fast he runs. Tewtoh took him down, tap kegs and bang drums. I know these lines, the narrative of Apollo. I hear myself sighing. The disappointment overflows. Like a rich man dying, I walk my grand halls alone. That hunt was supposed to refill my robust spirit. Instead, my pride has been maimed like my legacy. My people, my armies, my honor. They fail me. Now all singing for Tewtoh, like I cannot hear you. Is there no one left to love me who isn't a cunt? When this is over, you all pray to me for mercy. The great Apollo outmaneuvered by mortals. No, it is ridiculous, preposterous. This cannot be so. There must be a grave betrayal still left uncovered. The lions there are special, much too defiant. Aha. No wonder these lions wish to rule themselves. No wonder they stand tall on the field of battle. No wonder they are proven so fierce and ferocious. I know these lions, highly favored. They are mine. Thus, Ammarheia the worthless has betrayed me. A queen of complaints? Mary have I endured her, and she's withered. Is it not yet time for her death? Yes, Apollyon deserves a loyal and youthful queen. Harmony of the Wandilaz, Rekordhal, scribe of Tewtoh. Scattered are the pretenders, cowering in terror. Each one fell under Apollo because they are weak. Across the dragon the masses all sing of Tewtoh, confirming the ascendance of our one true king. Walah's spineless sons are subjects of another. Their prideful hearts led them straight into ruin, and their grandfather like them is despondent. Apollo isn't worthy of wearing Tewtoh's trousers. Now Wandilaz and all free lions live in harmony, holding our heads high as we be the standing. Tewtoh's kingdom is righteous and honorable. Ours is the only one victorious and standing tall. We will leave the western lions to their rebuilding. Their loyalties are volatile. We cannot trust them. Apollo's been exposed. Heart. His people snicker. On his throne they say Tewtoh would sit nicely. Brave lions rejoice. We are in control and united. Tewtoh, king of the dragon, lead us into the future. With you in no peace and prosperity persists. May our enduring joy be a medallion in your heart. The champion of the people, Teutonian Sonic. We gather here for a feast as victors, O daring defenders of Gutoh's land. The fallen heroes we all remember. Stands up, the jubilant hour at hand. One thing your grace, Tewtoh, may we discuss. Of course, brave in battle ye I hold dear. Will ye king of the dragon suffer us? Guess what? Worthy and more, you have my ear. Your Grace, the champion of the people. Hurried revel should we now at this time. Dear Tewtoh, will you ever find an equal? Hell no. Sing the damn song and down your star. Faded greatness by consorts of Pluto. Our great king and champion is Tewtoh. Faded greatness by consorts of Pluto. Our great king and champion is Tewtoh. Faded greatness by consorts of Pluto. Our great king and champion is Tewtoh. Faded greatness by consorts of Pluto. Our great king and champion is Tewtoh.